Happy birthday, Macho Man. Ooh yeah, look like I'm breaking my own rule about celebrating people's birthdays after they're dead because it's so tacky, but I always make an exception for the Macho Man. Bonesaw is ready. My niece has been talking to me a lot about parasocial relationships. Basically the way social media is celebrities or personalities on there, are able to share their lives with everyone, right? But they most likely don't know any of the followers, nor will they ever really interact with them. But a lot of the followers are so invested in the personality's life that they feel they know that person, and then the relationship starts slowly going to the side of unhealthy. And I know that side when the follower feels they are part of that influencer's life. And yeah, of course, that's happened way before social media and the internet, but it just feels so much easier for someone to believe they are more a part of someone's life than they really are. Have you seen that shit about a female wrestler and that had some dude sell his house to give to her because he thought he was talking to her and that she had told him to do it, but it ended up being like a catfish, and that female wrestler had to come out and apologize and say, yeah, if anyone's reaching out to you on my behalf or pretending to be me, please don't acknowledge them because it's not me. Don't sell your house. Like, what was the dude expecting to happen with selling his house for this chick? Like, were you trying to win her heart? Why do you think that a famous wrestler that makes six figures needs you to sell your house and send her the cash? Or were you going to think you could end up with her? Sounds like a mark to me, brother. Isn't religion kind of a parasocial relationship? Like, we are all Jesus' children and we pray to him, but is he really listening? We all know him, but does he know us? Is he mad that we've assumed his pronouns for this long? Speaking of Jesus, I was reading a book about mushrooms, and there's an old folks tale of how Jesus sort of created mushrooms. So, okay, here, I'll try to tell it, right? So Jesus and St. Peter were wandering the countryside when they came upon a poor village. They heard a wedding going on, and they were able to get themselves into the wedding, right? I mean, it's Jesus. Probably get himself in anywhere. And the people said, hey, here's some food. Go ahead and eat. And Jesus takes Peter aside, and he's like, hey, bro, these are really poor people, so don't eat anything but just a little bit of bread and some salt. So they're hanging out, eating bread and salt, when Peter was like, man, I'm still hungry. So he took some delicious cakes. That's what it says here. And from the poor people, right? And he snuck them in this little carrying pouch that he had. After a while, they left and were walking along when Jesus noticed that Peter kept lagging behind and was nibbling on something. And every time Jesus asked him what he was eating, Peter spat it out of his mouth and was like, nothing. And this was going on until Peter finished those stolen cakes. Once Jesus found out what was going on, he was pretty ticked off. Jesus can get mad and told Peter, hey, go back and pick up every single piece you spat out, you piece of shit. And Peter started walking back, but instead of the crumbs of cake on the ground, he found these strange little growths. And Jesus immediately was like, oh, hey, those weird little things are mushrooms. They grew from your peasant cake. And Peter was pretty sad that Jesus was mad at him, so he was like, hey, man, can you forgive me? And of course, Jesus was like, yeah, because that crazy guy, he forgives everyone, right? So they grabbed a bunch of those mushrooms they found, took them back to the house of the poor people that, Peter had taken that cake from, and asked the woman to cook them. And Jesus used his magic, or whatever you want to call it, to make sure that mushrooms are always going to be plentiful. But because Peter was a greedy piece of shit and tried to eat those cakes out of his, hunger or whatever, and that it was never satisfied, mushrooms are cursed to never be a filling meal. Crazy how the government uses the Bible to make real laws, and there's just a shit ton of these tall tales and mumbo jumbo in there, like these mushroom stories. I guess that's in the Bible, right? How silly is that, huh? The world's so silly. It's so super silly. Can you take me higher to a place where blind men see? Do y'all watch King of the Hill? Do you consider it an anime? I don't know why it's taking me so long to appreciate how great King of the Hill is, because I guess, I'm from Texas, so I should get more of the references, and I do. Maybe that's why I appreciate it more. And the theme song's kind of a banger too. And I'll have to admit, I know the same guy who did uh, King of the Hill also did Beavis and Butthead, and I was never really a fan of Beavis and Butthead growing up, at least as a kid, you know. Now as an adult, I watched the like newer movie. I need to watch the older shit, but it's pretty funny. I guess the argument I'm trying to make is I feel like King of the Hill is better than Beavis and Butthead. Like that's, you know, put down in the comments below whatever you you know, Daria too. I know he didn't make that, but yeah, that's something I need to watch now. I guess as a kid, whatever was considered adult cartoons, I really didn't watch. You know. No, when I was growing up, I was watching badass shit like Speed Racer and Inspector Gadget. Man, dude, Inspector Gadget was fucking badass. Like he had his niece Penny and was solving most of the shit. And that dog that sounded like kind of like Scooby Doo. Like, why do all dogs in cartoons sound like Scooby Doo? Like row, right, row, round, right, wrist. I don't know. I really do like Inspector Gadget though. Like I actually wrote a fan fiction for Inspector Gadget. It had a lot of inspiration from Batman Begins. You know, when they gave it like a darker tone. I'd called it like Gadget Begins. And seriously, I did. Like, I think the first part had like the villain Rat Man that would only steal really expensive cheeses. And then the second villain was Presto Changeo and how he could impersonate anyone, but he used it solely to avoid his own personality and face his own demons. You know, real darker tone. And then the last one would be about, I don't know, Dr. Claw doing something. I don't know. I really didn't fucking think that far. So you think the darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was a young man. By then it was just blindness. Did you see the trailer for Magic Mike? There's like a trilogy of that, right? Shit, that's gonna go the way of the Dark Knight Rises. it's gonna be the last dance. Like he's going to have a injury but still want to do that final Magic Mike dance and his life's on the line. I was wondering what would break first, your spirit or your body. I don't know. I'd watch it though. I really need to, like, yeah, I think Kevin Nash is in it too at some point. So, you know, anything with wrestlers is good, I guess. And then, dude, I saw on the news a guy who was working at like Caterpillar, you know, with those bulldozers and fucking forklifts and shit, and he fell into an 11-foot vat of molten iron. Molten iron. Like, dude, your body's like 70% water and boom, it's gone. Water doesn't mean shit to that molten iron. Like, I guess, where are you going to leave the fucking flowers? Right there near that 2,000 degree heat? Shit. If that isn't a comic book villain origin story, you know, fucking tell me how it isn't, you know? I was thinking all those years I've worked in retail and any of the injuries I may have had. I've dropped pallets on my toes and always on my big toes, man. God, I fucked them pretty bad. It's annoying. And then the nail takes like forever to grow back after it's been black and bruised and bloody. God, dude. But I'm not going to tell OSHA. I'm not a fucking pussy. Pretty sure when I was at Walmart, I had chased after a shoplifter and I'd fucked my knee up. It was funny though, because I just chased them to mess with them. I knew I couldn't touch them, but I still popped my knee pretty bad, and now that's officially my bad knee, you know. And at the home improvement store, I remember I've had heavy ass boxes fall on my face and knock off my glasses. That shit sucks, man. Like, I don't even care about my face or my head or any sort of concussion. All that matters is that losing my glasses. Like, I can't see shit without my glasses. Just like fucking Scooby-Doo Velma with arms wide open. Man, I just saw that Trump is planning to run for 2024, and holy shit, I cannot wait. Like, for whoever he runs against, that shit sounds like it's going to be like a WrestleMania marquee championship event, you know? Dude, he needs to start coming out to Chris Benoit's music like da 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 da, the Rabid Orange Man. I can't wait till he comes back to Twitter too. And yeah, I know everyone hates him, but that's what makes him the best heel we've ever had. Like, he needs to either have Kanye like come out as like his vice president or something, or dude, bro, even get like Vince McMahon on he's gonna puke. Them two as a tag team on the fucking as the president and vice president shit. Like it sounds so crazy, these dream bookings, but you know it can happen. Like we've seen way crazier things happen in this world. Anyways, yeah, I think that's it for today. Go grab a Slim Jim and snap into it in memory of the Macho Man, Randy Savage. And if you're a fan of Jesus, make sure you follow him on Twitch or subscribe to his YouTube channel. And I don't know, if he catches you nibbling on cakes, just say you're sorry and he'll be okay with it. Go watch King of the Hill or Inspector Gadget. They're both great anime. Yeah, you anime haters. They're anime. And stay away from vats of molten iron. Unless you're playing Minecraft, which, I'm sorry ending this. I don't really want to go too much into Minecraft, but it is a fun game. A super big time waster. Like if you have weeks to waste, just start a new world in Minecraft and start digging. I mean, it's a waste, but it's a fun waste of time. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? I'm a piece of shit. Yeah, no. Thank you for listening, and yeah, take care. Bye.